home monitoring is I've been in this industry for quite a while for seniors, and it's been kind of the I've fallen and I can't get up button that's pressed from a necklace or a watch. And that industry's been around for a long, long time. But there's new technologies coming, and there's new techniques, and there's new services that are built around taking care of mom and dad's safety. So this panel will explore with its panelists some of the newest and most interesting technologies that are coming on in the area of home monitoring, taking care of mom and dad, those things that we worry about. So at this point, I'm going to introduce you to Sandra Elliott. Sandra Elliott is the corporate director of consumer technology and service development with Meridian Health. Her role is to develop new technology-based services and business ventures targeting baby boomers and aging populations, while aggressively taking new approach to understanding the health and wellness needs of baby boomers and seniors. Technological applications are aggressively evaluated as a new method to meet those needs. Sandy has been instrumental in defining opportunities to work with innovative companies and begin to integrate health and wellness technologies into health delivery systems. Sandra has been a national speaker, has published many articles in developing opportunities for growing businesses in publications such as Trustee Magazine, Journal of Healthcare Financial Management, Future Aid, Hospitals and Health Networks, Health Strategists, and Nursing Management. And recently I had the honor to being on a 12-hour panel, focus panel in Washington, D.C. with Sandra. So we spent 12 hours together up on stage being filmed, getting our opinions of what we thought about of technology and aging and health. We had about 10 other cohorts with us, but it was an interesting day. Anyway, I have the honor to introduce Sandra Elliott.
Thank you, Susan. When she called me to say, would you be interested in moderating a session, that was the first question. How long is the session? One of the things that I think I just want to kind of put out there is I'm sure that many of you are probably wondering, what's a health system doing looking at aging technology in the home? Wouldn't you want them in the hospital or some of your healthcare environments? And obviously we do when they need to be there. But one of the things that we've obviously noticed is that there's a lot of opportunity to keep people safe and well and independent in their own home. And we've had a unique experience of an aging population in our direct counties that we serve, and it's really pushed the issue for us. So I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of companies that you see here today, and Charlie still will sit at a panel with me regardless. So, but anyway, I think you'll find this very interesting. We want this to be as interactive as possible. We're going to spend a lot less time on actually going through some of the technologies and some of the solutions so that you can ask some questions. But it is about keeping mom and dad safe at home. How many of you have mothers or fathers or elder loved ones at home that you always are worried about? So this impacts us all, most of us in some way, shape, or form. And I think that we're going to find that there's a unique trend that's going to happen where we're going to be able to leverage the technology that we're comfortable with in very different ways to be able to maintain our own independence. I'm going to go down fighting, so I'm going to be as independent as long as I can. So having said that, what I'm going to do is actually start out with Charlie. You're going to see a multitude, 3 different types of solutions for home monitoring, if you will, being able to stay safe and secure in your own home. Some are much more global in nature, and others are much more specific and niche-oriented. So I think you'll get a nice, good flavor of different solutions that are coming down the pike, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Charlie?
Thank you very much, Sandra. Do we have a slide here? Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and all those people watching on YouTube. My name is Charlie Hillman. I'm from GrandCare Systems in West Bend, Wisconsin, and it's really a pleasure to be here today. Now, for those who have seen me speak before, you know that I use a lot of slides. They go by quick, but there's a lot of them. But we're in difficult economic times, and we all must sacrifice. So for this panel, we have been restricted to 3 slides. Because, as we know, if we use more than 3 slides, then the terrorists have won.
Yes, absolutely. It's a new TSA rule.
So no picture of the grandkids today. But I digress. Keeping mom and dad safe at home, certainly a noble cause, a noble idea. And you know what? We've done this for a long time. Unfortunately for mom and dad, this usually involved rounding up all the old folks and sticking them in a big, ugly brick building called a nursing home. Fortunately for mom and dad, with our current demographics, this is an economically unsustainable model. And we must look at ways of keeping people safe, but keeping them less expensively in their home, which happily is the place they want to be. And so the industry has responded. 5 years ago, this was a dream and a vision. We talked about the vision of monitoring and so forth. But now, 5 years later, there are a great number of systems ready for prime time that do a pretty good job of keeping a discreet eye on mom and dad. There are systems that monitor activities, motion detection, door sensors, bed sensors, all of that sort of thing. There are other systems that keep mom and dad safe from a health standpoint by monitoring their physiological condition, helping them manage their chronic conditions, and of course, the ultimate goal, keeping them out of the emergency room. A few prominent examples, we've seen them all, GE, Quiet Care, the Intel Health Station, Tunstall, HealthSense, WellAware, and of course, GrandCare systems. Now, these systems make the professional caregiver more effective, more productive, and they give a certain peace of mind to the familial caregiver. And that's a great start. Let's face it, that is a great start. But as I pondered this topic, I thought to myself, we're missing something here. Anyone here play the computer game Adventure? Adventure. So you wandered around the virtual world and you had a little inventory of resources. Your power pills, your invisibility cloak, and your lightsaber.
Is this like Farmville on Facebook?
I have gotten rid of Farmville,
okay.
I'll tell you that.
Just checking.
So as we look at those inventory resources for aging at home and aging in place, we see the professional caregiver, the familial caregiver, of course, both aided by a judicious dash of technology. But what's missing? I would submit to you today that we need to provide a technology assist to those most able to keep mom and dad safe. And that's mom and dad themselves. And you know what I'm talking about? Next slide, please. Senior cyborgs, the rise of the machines. Now, cyborg, of course, is an integrated concept of human and machine where carbon-based meets silicon-based. Now, just in case you think this is complete science fiction, I want you to take a look in the lower right corner of the slide. Just a second here. The lower right is something that I saw recently at an ASO meeting and is currently being sold in Japan. These are exoskeleton legs and arms that have allowed people with polio to walk for the first time in years. The founder spoke to the CAST meeting, and just to prove that he has a sense of humor and is obviously a fan of American sci-fi films, the company is named Cyberdyne, which of course is the Terminator company, and the product is the hybrid assisted limb, which of course is HAL. Now, what makes this is a cyborg system versus just another high-tech wheelchair, essentially, is the fact that these legs and arms move with the intent of the user. You think step, and they step. It is very cool. It was very impressive. And this is not something that's in a university. This is something that's out on the market being used in Japan. They currently rent for, I think, $4,000 to $6,000 a month, which, of course, is roughly equivalent to a month in assisted living. Now, I don't know about you, but I know what I would like, which alternative I would prefer when I get to that point. Now, this addresses mobility, but one can easily imagine other cyborg applications that might empower the senior to take better care of themselves. Hearing, vision, and of course, I think the most important area,